माझं सेटिंग ओके आहे का रे?
Yes, sir.
ठीक आहे ना?
Yes. 1 minute to go. Yes, we can start.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Dipti Bhosle, Assistant Professor at MIT School of Fine Arts and Applied Arts. I welcome you all. I request our technical team to please play the video. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Today's talk will focus on the infinite possibilities in the field of fine arts, applied arts, and sculpture. So today we have with us Professor Dr. Milind Dubey, sir, Dean, Faculty of Fine Arts and Performing Arts. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. तुषार, तू दीप्तीला म्यूट केलायस.
Dipti, ma'am.
Yes, so sorry. As a young boy in the 10th standard, he loved animals, the environment, the trees around, and therefore he aspired to become a veterinary doctor. However, he soon realized that this love for nature and adventure could be well nurtured through the medium of art. Back in the day, even though Sir topped his foundation year, he had the limited choice of choosing either the very popular applied art, which means graphic, advertising, or drawing, painting, and sculpture. But under a very able guidance, he chose fine art, drawing and painting, and was awarded a fellowship in 1985. Sir's career began with teaching fine arts at Sir J.J. School of Art, and he simultaneously also worked at the Times of India as a freelance illustrator. He continued to work at POI and learned practicalities at applied art, advertising, photography, and films. In a year's time, he started his independent practice and freelanced with some of the topmost ad agencies in India, running national campaigns and getting on board his own staff. All throughout this, he never let go of his canvas, and by 32 had showcased fifth solo show at Jahangir Art Gallery. But by this time, he developed his very unique style, and his art incorporated the humble ballpoint pen and exploration. And this tool had made him a start-line pioneer of this medium. He continued projects with only some of his top clients like Milton Plastic, Rising Star, J&J, Network Group, Phoenix Group, Bajaj, etc. Some of his fine artworks were on prestigious walls like those of Sachin Tendulkar, London Times, the National Gallery of Modern Art, Bombay Municipal Corporation, Adhiraj Constructions, to name a few. Soon he started teaching art for survival, and in 21 years, this venture has bloomed into an autonomous art academy housing a dedicated graduate staff, faculty, and hundreds of students are trained and guided here into various institutes across the globe, preparing them to be a future of art, architecture, animation, painting, photography, and filmmaking. As a teacher and mentor, his entire approach towards art is conceptual and exploring drawing in a purest form. Please join me as I take the honor in welcoming our speaker and guest, Shri Shiel Sadwelkar, sir. The topic for today's unique webinar is the power of point. Sir will help us navigate through this unique journey of pictorial adventure and exploration for a wonderful experience. We are so honored to have you here with us today. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hear your stories. Now, I hand over this program to Milind sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dipti. It was a really wonderful introduction of our today's guest, Shiel Sadwelkar, sir. As you know, the dot or the point, scientifically speaking, is an abstract concept which indicates with precise certainty the locality of a junction, a meaning, and intersection, etc. We speak about crossing points, meeting points, and also more score point, point of friction, and so on. In graphic term, the dot or a point is materialized area recognizable by human eye. It is the smallest graphic point, graphic unit, which is also called as atom of every pictorial composition. Today, we are going to talk about the power of point experienced by eminent artist, Mr. Shiel Sadwelkar, sir. He has demonstrated the power of point through his paintings. Sir, you have been practicing points with ball pen. We are eager to know more about your paintings and your overall journey of this dot or point, you can say. Sir, I would like to see, and we all are eager to see your paintings, and also would request you to explain something about your paintings which you have experienced and performed using ball pen.
Sure. Thanks, Milind. Thanks, everyone, especially the MIT team for calling me here today to share my experiences. And when you spoke of what so many things that were done, when one turns back in life, at sometimes you don't believe so many things you could do. And basically, about an artist, I would first like to say one thing that today I can say it. I couldn't have said this 3 decades back. That there is no thumb rule or there's no rule that this is what you do and this is what you specialize in. Creativity has to run within your blood. Creativity is part of your lifestyle. Whether you do anything in life, basically creativity is very important in anything and any profession. Below that come under these labels and headings like fine arts and commercial arts, applied arts, whatever. But those really in life, they don't matter at some point of time. You know, doing everything at the same time really matters. And as far as the power of point journey, when this was talking about the early 80s, this was an accident. It was nothing was planned. I never planned that I'm going to become this, and then I began. I have such no vision of this kind, but I had vision in my work of art. So it was only by accident that I was scribbling with ball pen, and soon I realized this is not looking like a normal, usual drawing or a scribbling. And then from then onwards, as the journey went through, it was not only a black and white ball pen journey, but the journey became colorful through black and white. That is very important. And I did a lot of drawings. Then soon I was asked to teach in JJ School of Art. I was awarded a fellowship, and that is where my first exhibition took place. And showing at Jahangir, and on your first show when you sell everything, in those days when there's no media, whatever little media and television people came, you know, you just feel part of the whole thing very fast. So it was a great journey in college, one thing, and then coming out of college, I realized that a lot of things I don't know. You know, when you realize that so many things that you have to learn. I, being a fine artist, I realized that when I started working as a freelance artist in Times of India, I had to learn the trick and trade of earning a little more money through commercial art. That's how I got into publication. And that's where I learned about advertising. Now, advertising again is a vast field. I learned photography, I learned filmmaking, and various other things, aspect related to art. Now, in this all journey, I would first like to tell you one thing, that most importantly, there is no proper definition that this is what you are. You're a particularly this artist. Even you will have to work with architects. You will have to work with engineers. You will also have to work with doctors. And together, what you do as a teamwork is important. So the belief is not very strong that only one person creates a masterpiece. No, it's not like that. It's a lot of people together exchanging of ideas and all that. Now, if I can request you to show me some of the works, what I can do is probably try to explain. I won't say
Yes.
explain 100%, but try to explain what I wanted to achieve, what I did. Uh, okay, these are my scribbles. Futuristically, then they can be called ballpen drawings. So this on the left side that you see is a drawing, one of my first initial drawings, and it came out of pure scribbling, but it shows a lot of depth, lot of perspective, lot of insight. And this was I think around 81, 82, or 83, one of those years. And then from there, the transition, if you see on the right side, I'm showing you a picture which was done hardly about a year old, when the COVID times were getting severe in all over the world. That how from one single point, whether it be a germ or whether it be a, what you say in India, kida, that
Mm-hmm.
can really flare up and create a complete disturbance or a good creative atmosphere in the whole world. Here I've tried to show a blooming tree from that one point. And okay, we go ahead. Okay, I think we are getting ready with some slide. Mm, uh, yeah, now here again, see, okay, here again, I would like to say one thing, that how the journey began with just black and white ball pen drawings, and today's digital world, how I could transfer that. What I've done here is that whatever drawings I do on even large surfaces, even 5 feet or 7 feet, for that matter, I try to copy them, and without manipulating the real image, the real essence
Mm-hmm.
of drawing, I try to superimpose my visuals, which are digitally done. And
Mm-hmm.
this probably is the advantage that anybody in my place would have, because the drawings are mine. I will not be copying somebody's work and taking it here and doing a cut paste job. So exactly right from the beginning till the execution end takes place, I have a concept, and that I felt is most important for any artist. Doing something what you like is a nice feeling, you see, but at the end of the day, if you have a purpose, you can write about it. You can maybe write a few lines or a poetry or a text. It creates a more authentic feeling and meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we go ahead. Now here again on the left side is again a kind of a scribble. Basically, you all are aware of a little bit of rendering. So you know on the left side is absolutely a scribble, but only those scribbles have been put in the right places to give you the shade and light of the depth. But on the right side, it's been really fine work done with cross hatching and things like that. And this happened at the advent of the COVID coming in. What I've tried to show, this drawing is called Cremation of Corona. That it's time that we come to have cremate the whole thing under a bridge, and that's the end of the story. So this is what the kind of stories that I have to tell when I'm doing the drawing itself. And well, one thing I'd like to note out here, that most of my drawings, I would say more than 90% of my drawings, I do only the night time. Now, I have no reason particularly for that, but I generally work starting at 10 o'clock and wind up by 6 in the morning. This has been my lifestyle all throughout for almost 30 years now. So that is one thing. You can also, make a note that there's nothing like time and all that. But yes, at that point of time when I'm working, there are no disturbances, no gadgets, nothing else available except some music or something like that. So anyway, we go ahead and okay, this is one of the places where I work. This is my studio. The whole studio is on my terrace. It's a glass studio. It's completely made of glass. And again, my drawings I've implemented and you can say transferred onto a glass. These are new processes which I am adopting, and they look also nice.
Yes.
So here again, trying to use your own creative ideas for your own stuff. Now this also will bring me to one more point, that this means that you can become a part of an interior designer also. But we'll need at length so many professions to talk about. So we go next. Yeah, this is the other angle. And well, these are again part of my gallery, or where I studio is where I work. Then okay, this is some kind of a you can say semi-installation work which I have been doing recently for the past 3-4 years, introducing light into my paintings. So
Mm.
light plays a very important part. Without light, they say there is no photography. Without light, there's no visual, and obviously there. But when you enhance the light in your colors, and as well as now you can't see close-ups of this, but when you see the original works, these are all more than 5 feet and 6 feet. there is a thin ball pen drawing in this whole structure that you see. Then the structures are made out of pine wood specially designed for it. And then there is oil paint and acrylic, just like a painter would do on a canvas and an easel. Beyond that, there are lights then adjusted within the frame of the pine wood. So you can see the amount of, now we are talking about engineering also. So coming back to the point, see, we are not differentiating engineering, architecture. We are not differentiating in all this. Basically, what I said in the beginning is if you're creative, you'll be happy doing anything. So I always work with teams. I always work sometimes with myself, and it's a great journey, which is started black and white, but a colorful journey, something like that. Yeah, this again is a part of my other studio where I do only oil work and acrylic work on a large size. These are some kind of books which I've compiled of my students whom I guide throughout the year and given that course a name. This is the academy where we established, my wife and me. Today she looks after the academy. Most of the time we have a faculty separately for that. And our prime intention is basically to give guidance to students and parents because of the lack of awareness of this field. Then, and this is my small car. So a small message is enough on the car. When you say car design, that becomes again another field altogether in design aspect. What I have tried to show is in very simple, I have shown a small refill on the car. Even the ball pen is not important. The refill is important, that gives you a point. And then I have my logo, a registered logo called the power of point. That's how I move around. It feels good. That's it. It's just a feel good feeling. And okay, now this is a very large picture. It's more than 10 feet, and it's done specially what we call in this industry a commissioned work. It's done specially for a client. The client first briefs me, tells me this is the size of the wall. Then I recreate the wall, see the amount of dimensions that are involved in it. Then take what a brief that he has given me. Then we come slowly touch advertising because when I write my own text along with what text he has given me, on both the sides you will find a text which is not there in this picture, but on in reality where it is there, there's a text explaining the picture that how this manufacturing company sustained and started from scratch and then went on to be a global structure and things like that. And also I have put my frameworks of pine wood here and symbolizing the Indian system of working with a lantern which is there on top. This is all real. This is not a photograph. And then mainly what he manufactures is some of the finest camshafts in the world today. One huge camshaft is shown at the bottom. So this denotes the entire picture and gives a complete idea to maybe not only people who like to see painting, but to maybe his clients and his customers also, who have got nothing to do with art. So I believe in taking art to everywhere. It is not only an art world or an art gallery or a showcase place where you say, okay, I appreciate, but I can't understand. Art is not to be understood. Art is to be enjoyed. And also, I would like to say that, many people I've heard over the past saying, I can't even draw a straight line. Well, I work with lines, so I can only say that I don't know what this sentence means because even I don't know how to draw a straight line, and no artist can draw a straight line. It's one of the most difficult things. So this is what is it in a nutshell. Now, what do we have any visual or how do we progress on this, Milind?
Sir, I have seen your paintings and most of your work is in a painting form. But looking at your educational background and your work profile, so one question arose in my mind that your entire educational background is from fine arts. You did your fine arts, BFA fine arts, but you have worked with industry, like you work with Times of India, you work with many advertising agencies. How you will justify your academic training or academic progress and then applied your academic background into commercial background? So
Well,
I'm
yeah,
really eager to know about it.
yeah, this is a very interesting thing, and this I think one really needs to know how this comes into a sandwich together. It's something like this, that if at a very initial stage of life, when your creativity and energies are really burning, if that stage you can start refining your skills, then you are broadening your imagination to a large horizon. If at every given stage, I would give you an example like this, you want to draw something and talk about it, maybe a cartoon, you want to draw a cartoon and show it to somebody and explain it, you
Mhm.
can't do the drawing part of it, then there is no meaning on the explanation of the text. So if you can handle this, if you can handle this, then your caricature takes place, then everything else takes place. So this is only an addition to it. Well, I'm not saying that every creative person has to be a good artist. No, that is not the thumb rule to it. Then he has copywriters, he has other things. But I realized that at some point of time that if I do fine arts, then I have a wide screen of horizon as far as my incomes also are concerned, because you have to survive at some point of time, which is very important. And whenever I had this kind of a problem, I came to a stage when I was about 35 and working very nicely in the mainstream of advertising, earning good amount of money. I realized one thing, that I'm constantly working for somebody else. I'm pleasing him, my client, to earn money, and my individuality is getting lost. Now, suddenly to take off, even after having 5, 6 shows here or in Italy or something, suddenly to bounce back into this is not possible. So I had to take some kind of a support. And I can only say then at that point, survival is important. You have to survive to
Right,
eat food.
right.
So I began teaching. And for me, teaching was very simple because my academic career really poured on me. And it was, I didn't have to do anything. I could create a syllabus. That's how I got into back again after about a year or two, planning a few things for a couple of colleges, wherever they were. And that time, since there was no online, we had to actually physically go demonstrate and things like that. So this is how that particular thing has helped me. And even today, what I do is whenever I have a large project, like today I'm doing a large project in Bombay, which is 40 feet wall,
Okay.
I prefer working first with pencil to do all the sketches, and then move on slightly slowly to the machines where they can give me refinement and accuracy. But the
Right.
machines will not be able to give me my creative ability. It's as
Correct.
simple as that. So you have to match this sandwich somewhere, and everybody learns a lesson very beautifully but differently. That's all I can say.
Yeah. You mean whether it is applied arts or fine arts, so creativity has to be there. One who
Correct,
is creative with his mind, he can apply his drawing or his creativity through expressions, through visuals,
correct,
through
correct.
colors in any medium. So
Absolutely.
I got answer of my question from your speech, that the qualification or the degree, that really doesn't matter, but how you
Correct.
apply your understanding, how you apply your mind into commercially in the market, and then earn name and fame, and satisfy needs of the
Correct. Correct.
client. That is very important, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. In fact,
Yes, sir.
I would like to emphasize on this when you put this point. It is important to go to a college because college gives you
Right.
discipline. You know, you can't do everything at your home. Like supposing you're not well, you need to visit a hospital. You can't say I'll take care of myself. So similarly, that discipline makes you really important, that particular college. But you cannot expect a college to give you everything 100%, including creativity, because creativity can't be taught. Now, in my life, the biggest lesson I learned is when in the final year, I topped it in the university in Bombay. And I was very proud about it. Anybody would be proud. So I took my certificates. And on one side, I took my portfolio. And I went to one of the largest advertising agencies there, thinking obviously, I mean, I knew I had the job in front of me. So, first thing what they did is the file of certificates, they just pushed it aside and they said, we'd like to see your work. And
Yep.
at that point, I had a question to myself, was it important to study? Because I could have done this, but no, it's not that way. And I think you will learn it. You know, education is important, college is important. But again, what is more important there is from what you are receiving from college is at the same time how much you read, how much you observe in day to day life, and then you implement it to anything that you're doing. Even if you're
Yes.
cooking, I would say when you serve a dish, it should be aesthetically beautiful, then you feel like eating it. As simple as that.
Correct.
That's creativity.
Sir, one more element I just have mentioned, or you have mentioned in your painting, that you equally work in digital medium. So the media or medium is not the constraint for you. You are good at paint. I mean, oil paints. You are good at paint and ball paint and only ink, only dots. You are equally good at digital paintings. So how you would say or equate digital painting
Equate.
versus digital painting versus traditional painting, or working with different medium? So can you elaborate on that if you
Yeah.
could?
What I can say is I was born at a time when digital media didn't exist. So
Yes.
let's take it up from there. And what happened is, as I've learned it in in time to come in the past 10, 20 years, when digital illustration started coming in the way, I knew that I have to adopt a little bit to that medium. But at every given stage, I had a difficulty because my brain was functioning in a particular manner. And even today, I cannot be very friendly with a computer to start working with. If I'm asked to do a design or anything like that, I cannot sit on the computer. I would first go with what I have with me because that is mine. What I'm trying to say is when I do a couple of scribbles here and there, I am in good capacity to explain that to an operator who can give it to me well furnished.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So
Yes,
if you're an
absolutely.
operator, you can have many excellent technical operators who would need creativity. But if you're a
Right.
creative person, can have many operators, a dime a dozen, to do it.
Mhm.
That's the best thing I can tell you. I mean, and you will have to remember this all your life because many contemporaries I've seen even all over the world today, they still insist that first let us work with our hand because we know this is our work. Otherwise, what you'll end up doing in digital art, what you'll end up doing, most of these people also, with the availabilities of what your computer can give you, you try to make do your design in that. So your
Right.
compromise starts before your creativity. That should not happen.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So, sir, we have we have students with us. They definitely must be having curiosity in their mind, like,
Yeah, yeah.
fine arts or applied arts or design, because there are n number of fields available around them, and they are even free to choose whatever, they can select from the available. But a person who would like to show their creativity through visual medium, so what kind of guru mantra you will give these aspiring students?
Well, you mean after the course that they do?
No. Before they enter into the course, what are the virtues or what are the qualities they should have before entering into the field? And if they
Okay.
enter in this visual field, if they enter in applied arts or fine arts, they what
Mhm.
kind of qualities they need to uh, develop throughout their
Correct.
4 years of graduation?
Correct. Yes, this is also equally important. See, when you decide you come to this stage up to life that you would like to choose between a career in arts, be it any arts, fine arts or design or painting, sculpture, anything, you will have to keep certain things out of your minds, which your other friends in other professions might be thinking. One of the most important thing is you will not, you should not be in position at any given time to think of what am I going to earn after all this. After doing this
Hmm.
4 years, what is going to be my package? Now, art
Right.
is something, when I say art, it means dance, drama, everything. I know
Absolutely.
many artists of different professions in this field who are elder to me also. There is never a concept that you first think of uh, how much should I price my canvas when it's blank? When
Right.
it's blank, I first think of how to price it. Then I think of how to sign it. And then I think of painting it. So I hope, I mean, this fairly clearly experience tells what I want to say. And in this whole journey, you should not have any inhibitions or restrictions that I came here for a particular purpose. But today, if I like something else, be open to it. Why I'm saying open to it. Otherwise, when you go to an art college or something, you feel that you've come here for a particular reason. I have to get that reason, come with that certificate, and then you'll be respected or honored. It is not like that. Many people, even I have gone through this process. In the second or third year, you begin liking something else, which is something very
Correct.
natural. It's just something
Mhm.
very natural. In fact, if it doesn't happen, then sometimes I feel very strange. How can a person like such same thing for such a long time? So these are very crucial things that you got to keep a completely open mind as to what you're doing, and then only you can flourish in this medium. You can join in as a commercial artist, you can pass out as a fine artist. Because today when I look back at my friends who have passed out of from my class, who have say done something like applied arts,
Uh-huh.
and today they are in some completely different field, or somebody who's done fine arts has been enjoying teaching for 20, 30 years in applied art. So it's completely different. And for me also, it's very strange because I passed out of a fine arts college, that is drawing and painting, full
Right.
stop. No
Yes.
applied arts, no commercial. And the
Correct.
first job after JJ that I got in teaching in a professional college was in an applied arts college.
Great.
And that was because of my experience that I earned in those 2 years of doing work, which was shown outside that these are my campaigns, these are my cover designs, and that's how it
Okay.
happened.
Yeah.
Also, when it came to big companies, when we did national projects, that time nobody asked me, you show your certificates first, what you've done. I had to take a
Mhm.
chance to implement my fine art work and mold it into commercial art and sell it to them, which was a challenge.
Mhm.
So I feel best is be open to this whole field and do what best you can. And lastly, I'll come to one very important point is that don't ever think of I'm going to become like so and so. If it's an
Okay.
artist, I'm going to become like MF Hussain by VS
Absolutely.
Gaitonde, or I'm going to become like anybody. I don't want to take more names, but because that doesn't work. You are a wonderful creative person. Believe in yourself. You know, even if anybody laughs at you, you are a wonderful person and become what you are. Let there be followers to you. That should be a rule of life, and that is your success.
Perfect. Perfect. So according to you, one who's creative and would like to enter into this creative field should not discriminate. This is fine art, this is applied art, this is
Absolutely.
sculpture, this is printmaking, and so on and so forth. If you think that this particular field is good for you, and you think that this is really what you enjoy in your life, you should do with your in your graduation. And the
Absolutely.
result, of course, the market will take a decision of your work, and your portfolio will speak for you. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
really nice. I mean, it was really well said and well mentioned by you, sir. I hope students, those who are here, can have a question. If you have any question, you can ask Dipti. If you can read questions over here, you can ask these questions to Sheil, sir.
Okay, just a minute, sir. I'll just check with it.
And Sheil, sir, I remember
Yeah.
a few of your batchmates, like you mentioned, Nitin Desai and Anil Naik. They
Yeah.
are really having a successful life in a very lucrative world. I would say a film industry or so.
Uh-huh.
So they were also of same kind. I mean, they have done their fine arts in their graduation. So can you?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, now to give you an example, I'll give you an example who are sitting with me in my benches, along with
Okay, sir.
me, or 1 year up and down. There are so many nice, beautiful names. Say Nitin Chandrakant Desai is a set designer. I think most of you might have heard of his name.
Yes,
He's
yes.
even gone to Hollywood and done some work with Richard Gere. He's done a lot of films out here.
Right.
But going back to 1981, none of us had any clear idea about what we are going to do. We just thought we are wasting time in life, like maybe you people are thinking today. Well, that's
Hmm.
that's the right thing. Enjoy your college life.
Hmm.
Along with that, you work, and then you will hear each one's story is so beautiful independently.
Hmm.
Like all these people, they had to when they passed out, they had no job. Even I had no job. Then you have to find out first your survival means, and through that, you will automatically get a link and do your survival links to the best. Don't compromise there and sleep every night saying today I got less money or whatever for that matter. I would say put it very beautifully, work unconditionally. Because if your work is good, it is going to pay you at some point of time. Your calculations will not pay. Then you will have to go to the stock exchange or something like that to calculate your money. Then we had, I had a friend called Achut Pala, who's a very big calligrapher today. Then these are all applied arts people. And then in fine arts, my classmate was an artist called Sudarshan Shetty. Today he does international installations. All these names you should actually go on the net and find
Yes.
out what exactly they're doing and what they are worth. But today when we meet together, we don't have to discuss or we don't have what who's worth how much and the bank balance. But the sharing that goes on is very important. And these things really don't matter. At certain stage in life, these how much bank balance really doesn't matter. Well, there are many such friends who made it really big and who earn tons of money,
Hmm.
but they're extremely unhappy. And the reason for unhappiness is very
Oh,
simple. They are not getting to do what they want. And those people we call
okay.
slaves because they have to do something which the client likes. Now, may it be in the advertising field or may it be even in the fine arts gallery scene. When they have an exhibition in a
Hmm.
fine arts gallery in Spain or in the UK, that time they have to just come and have a cheese and wine toast and vanish. Then marketing department takes care of the selling. So they don't know what happens after that and before that. This is a very tragic situation. What we see from here, oh, he's got a Audi, he's got a BMW, he's got, but the unhappiness is that unhappiness will remain always. So keep that in mind. I think that is very important. And art is all about happiness. And more happiness is when you can share it. That's what I have realized. Yeah, Dipti, any questions
Yes,
do we have?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Avni, can you please read out the question? There is a question from the Facebook, I guess.
Yes, Avni.
Yes, sir. So the question reads, sorry, just a minute. It says, sir, how do artists like Norman Rockwell, Lindecker come up with their illustrations, and what kind of sort of training do they undergo for these these style of illustrations?
Yeah, most of these guys whom you mentioned, Norman Rockwell and all that, they have been trained. Some of them have been trained, and some of them have been independent. And they have been working similarly, what I told you, in both the industries. It is not that they work with only one particular industry. And well, it is the industry demand at that particular time in their life that they've managed to satisfy. I would say what you would use in the business language is customer satisfaction. That's how that it gives them a platform. This happens everywhere in the world. And then they take on to a position of an artist or a fine artist. So again, we are coming to the same point. There is no thin line or a difference between a fine art and a commercial art. At that stage, what is your need? What is the need to satisfy whom? If you can take on to that as well as retain your own style, that is important.
Sir, one thing, I mean, one question from a student's point of view, like, do they really think of a specialization when they go for their fine arts bachelor's or applied arts bachelor's? What do you think about it?
Well, see, it is too difficult to say this because we are unfortunately, I would use the word unfortunately, exposed to a huge media, and we only see the cream of creams. We don't see what has gone behind that. And why that is important is because you suddenly see somebody who's making it that big, or you just see that name, you don't know what's going on behind that. Then you want to directly jump and become that person. You directly want to jump, so you don't want to go through the rigmarole of everything else. And that is very important. You have to keep these things in mind.
Yes, Avni.
Yes,
Any other question?
we have one more question. How do you rate both applied art and fine art and their place in the current contemporary world or industry?
How do I place? Place in what way are we talking about?
How do you
weigh?
Both applied art and fine?
Okay, let's make this very clear. I do not give comparison in anything. As I said earlier, creativity is one thing. Everyone makes it differently in his own choice and way. You have some of the greatest designers, you have some of the greatest fine artists, some of the greatest applied artists, guitarists. So there is no question of a weighing thing that this is more weight than that. Weight is when there is a measure. What is the price of gold and petrol? But you cannot weigh a painting. I'll tell you in very simple other words, a painting or a creative form, you can never say that this is right or wrong. Now, this is for students up to the 12th. When they show a work, what do they ask? The first question, is this correct? Now, this question itself, you have to understand that this question is not right because art cannot be correct. It cannot be correct and wrong. It can only be good and bad. You will have to understand this difference. What is good for me may be bad for somebody else. But in mathematics, 2 plus 2 is 4 for me and the whole world. This is the difference. So this is a very, very major difference that one has to understand. Pursue what you want to do and have faith in your work and yourself.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We have one more question. Is it okay if one graduates from fine arts, go into films without degree, and how one can practice art direction? What should be the basic steps?
Yeah, absolutely. This is I mean, you can, once you pass out of fine arts, most of my students in the past have done that. They've passed out of a fine art college And then I can tell you how you can branch out also. You can you can do design, you can do architecture, you can do practically anything after that. And I would suggest you pass your fine arts first and then do your masters in your specialization. But
Correct.
don't try to specialize it in the first year itself.
Mm.
You see, it would be very harsh to say that when you pass your 12th standard, you already decide whether you want to be a neurosurgeon or a heart specialist. I would suggest you do medicine first. You understand what you want in those 4 years, understand yourself, and then you go ahead slowly. There's no hurry. 4 years is a good time to understand yourself and see the industry. And also, one more thing you must remember, 4 years is a huge time in today's world for the industry to change completely. Haven't we seen a
Mm.
huge change in the past 18 months? What has happened to the whole world, in fact? So keep all
Right.
these things in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, on the top of that, I would just would like to mention few things. Nowadays, most of the universities, most of the colleges, they are taking care of students' special training required to train them to make them industry ready or market ready. So in the at the end of their graduation, maybe in the third year or fourth year, students are taught basic requirement of industry. They are trained to handle the projects, industrial projects. They are sent to industry to do internship, and this way the college or the university takes effort to groom them so that they are made ready for the industry. So whether it is applied arts or fine arts, students are exposed to the outside world. Say like university like MIT-ADT University, we have very specialized course like conservation of arts or restoration of arts for fine arts students, and we have very specialized course like UI UX for applied arts students. So, and also we send them to the industry exposure to get the projects from industry. They go for maybe for 6 months in industry and then do their live projects. So that way they are groomed. So
Yeah.
it is in connection with the subject, with the question she asked, whether to do the degree, basic degree in fine art and then practice in films. Yes, I think we can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, see, the thing is, as I said earlier, also see that you want to do something else, that you want to do something else, not just fine arts and applied arts, but you will get this knowledge as you go to college. You are
Correct.
then open to the fields of, let's take, you said restoration, conservation. Not
Mm.
many people know about this, and there
Yes,
is no
absolutely.
awareness program anywhere. If you type conservation on Google, you will get some of their ideology which is not relevant to you.
Correct.
You see, so what I suggest is when you go to college, you'll start understanding these various fields where you can, and
Mm.
then definitely you can. In fact, I do have friends also who've done their fine arts and then gone to London for 4 years only for restoration. And
Right.
today they are one of the rare breed in India who do only restoration. When you want to restore something very, very unique, you have to
Mm.
go to them. So there are these specializations are definitely there just like any other career.
Correct.
So remember that don't think of that much specialization when you first go in. When you
Mm.
come to know about it, now when it comes to colleges doing an exchange program, it's a
Right.
very nice thing and students are very lucky. In our days, we didn't have these exchange programs. But by
Yes. Yes.
exchange, what you are giving students is so nice because they're getting to see the world. I'm not saying
Yes.
work. I'm just saying simple, open your eyes and observe the world. That itself is education. And if the
Right.
college is providing such internships of exchange and all that, go for it. I
Right.
mean, that is real education because we do not have in art industry, there is no textbook. What you learn
Absolutely
is from
right.
your day to day. I would say, put it in very simple words, is even if you observe your maid servant brooming the floor, there is a style in that. There's a proper method. There's a proper aesthetics. So go by that. Let's go by
Correct.
the small grassroots level things. That's the way to work in this industry. And then you make your choice. Okay, I'll tell you one more thing now, since we're at this doing fine arts and then doing
Mm.
something else. Uh, Many times, student is parents are rather confused whether to go in for fine arts,
Mm.
applied arts, or design, or this and that. After doing any of these degrees in fine arts or in applied arts, you are still free to do design also. You're free to do anything that you want, but that is again specialization. It's a PG course, post graduation course. So there are certain colleges which are supposed to be very famous in India, that if you do a particular course, you have to do it in that college only. You can still do that course after getting a fine arts degree, because that degree will give you admission into a design college or something like that. So there are various options, and these options are not only I'm talking about anything, but my students in the past 5 and 10 years have done that. For various reasons, they could not go to a particular college, maybe finance, maybe whatever. Okay. But then when I showed them this route and they are today flourishing in the industry, it feels good. One person has even started painting walls. He said, I don't want to do anything. A graphic designer who has passed applied arts said, I want to paint walls. I don't want to do advertising. And today he's painting large size walls with cranes. With cranes, imagine. He works on the computer,
Wall
and
graffiti.
then the cranes are given these orders, and then they do the work. We had a similar student who was again confused. She was with us for a long time, and she also opted after a certain time to do large size murals. She was not happy.
Oh.
Then she went to US, and then she discovered that this kind of graffiti can be built up.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a large wall on a skyscraper, and she was
Mm-hmm.
selected amongst the 11 best artists in the world at that young age. So see how you can carve your road. Let the college give you this 4 years experience, then make your own roads.
Yes, sir. It is related to your academy.
Yeah.
Like you train students who are interested in this creative world, and you say that is the pre-college training. So, can you highlight that pre-college training and
Yeah.
how your
See,
students are ready to get into professional world? I mean, professional
yeah.
courses like
Now,
fine
what
arts.
we do, like other training programs before the 10th and the 12th, we don't have a proper set course, like course material, mock tests, juries. We don't believe in that concept at all. Our concept is basically an American concept where you have to train the child for everything, and then leave the options to him and his parents. Okay. So when a
Great.
student comes to us after the 10th standard, we first make them aware of the various fields. First, they should know what the industry demands, what the industry has for you, and what you can give the industry. If you are compatible, we tell them. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
compatible, we are honest enough to tell them, no, you're not compatible. Then how do we work on it? And still, if you want to work on it, these are our options. So what happens after the 12th? The student is completely ready with everything. And then whatever the tests that we give them, the general knowledge tests are all created by us. I make the team core. So I know exactly what can
Great.
be asked and what to be done. Get them ready for up to
Mm-hmm.
sculpture also. So 3D tests and things
Kya
like
baat
that. So they
hai?
actually work with their hands. And now this May, that is now we've had a special course because everything is locked down. It's starting on the 4th of May.
Mhm,
It's called Motivational
mhm.
May, whereby we've introduced
Oh.
another concept that because of lockdown you can't leave the house. We also can't leave the house, but still you have to work with materials. So we've made a special arrangement with the courier company that all the materials selected by us will reach you, and you will just work online. You will see how we are working out here. So these are the kind of
Great.
innovations that we've done. And then we have a session after the 12th standard with every parent and tell the parent, come
Mhm,
to us, let us discuss terms as far as everything is concerned. So that
mhm,
gives them an idea. Otherwise, what happens? There are just named colleges, that these are all branded colleges, and if my child goes here, he will become that. Or
mhm.
then there is another set of people who are already ready before even going to a college that mera bachcha to UK jayega. So I mean, see, if you have a family plan, it's a different thing. But this
Mhm.
is like a professional career. So if you want to look at it
Right.
very seriously, then go through the proper channel. This is all that I can tell you. This guidance is best. And that is why we finally compiled a book. We call it a PCIP book, that is pre-college
Oh.
internship program.
Mhm,
So before, after the 10th standard, you come to us, take a briefing, and you finish that we work only on every Sunday because they have got lots of other work.
mhm.
And all those more than 1,000 assignments that are there created by us is what we make you do, and we make you do what you like. So then your channels become simple, and that's how then they
Oh.
decide whether to even go in for a particular career or no. Like to go in for fine arts, to applied arts, to architecture, to JE, to design.
Mhm.
They have these options left, and then we say this is your 1, 2, 3. So this makes
Oh.
it easy. Otherwise, the day when a parent comes to us, the parent says, I'm very confused. Nobody in my family has done this. So I don't know how to go about it. And we like such people who are honest with us and tell us that we are confused. So even if the child is confused, we tell the child, stay confused. It's good and healthy to be confused. Then only you can grow.
So I think overall you must be facing various questions and I mean confusions created by parents and students, and we are really happy that you are trying to resolve their queries, and students are getting guidance from you. We are also very lucky, and we are fortunate enough to have you here on this unique platform of MIT Art Design and Technology University's MIT so far. And it was really very nice interactive session from our side. And of course, you try to interact the way we wanted it to be, so that our aspiring students would definitely get good guidance, and then they definitely will have a confidence in them, like, okay, whatever field they have chosen, they have selected is the right kind of field, and then they would definitely be happy with their work, and at the end of 4 years they will be I mean, they'll get ready for accepting any kind of challenge in their career paths to serve in industry or in market. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, sir. I know your busy schedule. You are working you are working on very special project at Mumbai at this moment, but you have spared your time and then guided our students and to all of us. So thank you very much, Sheil sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much to all of you also. And please feel free to contact us anytime for anything.
Yes, sir.
Thank
sure,
you.
sir. Sure.
Yes.
Deepti?
It was wonderful hearing from you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experience and guiding the aspiring students today. We would like to thank you for making them aware of the dynamics of this field, about the prospects and progress, and the most important that is the field is no more the hobby, but a serious profession all over the world. Thank you so much, sir, for this. I am extremely, I must express our gratitude to Honorable Executive Director, Mrs. Jyoti Dhakne ma'am, for her kind support. A very sincere thanks to our principal and dean, Professor Dr. Milind Hobe, sir. I would like to thank our technical team for this smooth conduction of the program. Thank you all the staff and colleagues for your kind support. And last but not the least, thank you all dear students for joining us today. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much.
Great. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.